Over 90% of AI written content makes nothing. No, that's not my disclaimer, that's a fact. But there is one type of AI content that makes me money virtually every time I use it. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how that works, how I create it, and how I start from nothing and create content that puts money in my pocket. This is super important. We're going to go through everything line by line, the types of content, where it's going to be used, how to get traffic, how to make money, and everything. We're even going to cover all the different AI tools that I use, some of them free, some of them paid, but more importantly, how we actually use them to get a result that's profitable. Because let's face it, far too many gurus out there are just leading you down the rabbit trail of busy work, not profitable work. This is stuff like creating coloring books or images or just endless mindless blog content designed to get rankings, but they never rank. Yeah, we've all been there, done that. What I'm talking about is something specific, strategic, based on the AI content models that have made me over $1 million. Yes, you're gonna wanna pay close attention to this video because I'm gonna show you what to focus on to get results. I'm going to show you why most of the content other people are talking about makes nothing, how you can start and get traffic fast, and not only that, but we're going to be looking at some of my custom prompts that'll save you time, money, and help you get things done faster. Yep, that's right, money favors speed. And if you're taking forever to put out mediocre content, you've already lost the battle. So I'm going to show you that prompt, plus a custom GPT I made to find out exactly what your market wants and why, and we're going to go line by line through the 13 types of content that get results. So if you're excited, smash the like button and let's go to work. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. We're gonna look at this from two websites that I own, one about how to create videos to get traffic, another one that is about wedding invitations that I've been building as part of our 7-day blog challenge thing. This is really cool because it's gonna go through and show you exactly how I think about what I do, the prompts I use, and everything. Now, as we go through here, I want you to remember I've made millions and millions of dollars with online content, and some of that was AI content. And going through and looking at this, we have to understand exactly how it works in a real world way. As I mentioned earlier, the vast majority of people trying to quote unquote make money online make nothing. So you want to take this with a grain of salt. You're not just going to slap up some AI content and get rich overnight. We have to do some work. This is a business. There's risk, there's reward. And as I mentioned, most people make nothing. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start to understand why AI content doesn't work, why most bloggers never get traffic and never make money, and how you can do things different. First of all, we need to understand what doesn't work. What doesn't work is content that is focused on volume versus value. Now, there are some outliers that they just throw out tons of content, and because of sheer volume, they do get some traffic and make some money. However, the vast majority of people trying to do this get nothing because of the fact that Google and other search engines have wised up to this. Even Facebook and everyone is starting to wise up to this as well. We're seeing an influx of AI content, and what it's leading to is fatigue, where people are ignoring everything. Everything is loud noise, so they don't see the good stuff, right? They're throwing out the good with the bad. Next up, the second reason most AI content doesn't work is no intent or offer. They're not looking at why the person would look at this. Why would someone consume this content? Like right now, you're watching this video because you want to make content so that you can make money. Ergo, I understand what you want. That's super important. The offer is going to be, hey, go over to my site to get some cool stuff to help you make this work. And if you want to work with me, we'll show you where to find that as well. Then we're going to go through and we're going to look at platform saturation. This is something a lot of us are dealing with. Platforms like YouTube, Pinterest, TikTok, and other places are rewarding originality and engagement. Generic AI content has low watch time. People don't read it as much. It's just out there to get traffic. We're seeing that that stuff is kind of falling by the wayside where the original stuff is actually working. Even if it's written by AI, that's okay. It needs to be done in a different way. That's what this video is going to show you. And then, of course, the exceptions. AI content doesn't make money when it's combined, or does make money rather, when it's combined with strong niche targeting, where it's solving a specific problem that people have, or whatever it is. It could be even entertainment or something like that. Also combined with a traffic system like SEO, YouTube, Pinterest, or paid traffic, has an offer funnel where we're making money with affiliate marketing. product sales or even email opt-ins where we're building a mailing list, or it has a unique angle or personality. Even if it's faceless, this can work. We're going to use AI to get a superior output so that we can make money. Now, I want you to remember, AI doesn't make money. AI systems plus traffic plus monetization does. So if we can pair those together, it's going to work really well. Now, some of the tools we're going to look at here are ChatGPT, obvious, we all know that one, DeepSeek, NotebookLM, Claude AI, Manus AI, Ahrefs, optional. You can use some of their free tools to get around. You don't have to have a paid account, although it is something that's helped me throughout the years. We're going to look at SERPs, which is known as Search Engine Results Page. That's the page that comes up when you search for something. We're going to look at a personality prompts tool that I created for you and a custom AI Profit Scoop GPT that you can use with the SERPs to find out what your market wants. Now, if you find this boring, there are tons of other videos on TikTok that promise to make you rich overnight. They probably will not help you, but they are much more entertaining than this. If you want to go watch those, feel free. For those that actually want to do this, build a business and make it work, stick around. You're going to like this, even though I'm not, on the trapeze and the high wire and doing all kinds of fancy stuff. This isn't for entertainment. This is for people that want to learn how to do this business, who want to learn how to make AI content and hopefully make some money. Now, going through here, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the different types of content, right? The content types that get results. Now, there's lots of different content types, from blog posts to listicles to sales copy, email sequences, case studies, white papers, ebooks, and on we go. Now, I'm going to have a list of these over at personalityprompts.com so that you can see which ones have the highest profit potential. Now, when we look at this, we need to understand exactly how money is made online, what kind of traffic makes money, and what to expect. When we go over to Ahrefs and we look at something like this one blog post, okay, this is one post on a site. It's a big site. It does get some decent traffic. So, it's got some domain rating and stuff like that. Not super huge. These are comparable to ones that we have. I think if I pull up one of mine, let's see what mine looks like here. It is this one here. And we'll see what mine looks like so you can look at the comparison here. So mine has a DR of 3.2 and it has a UR of 5. So pretty comparative here. I mean, obviously we are getting some traffic. I can do better with it. But looking at this one here versus the one that I have, which is right here, let's pull this up. We can see that I do have some rankings. We've been fluctuating. This is like the last 3 months change. So over the last 3 months, Ahrefs has kind of been really wishy-washy with its results. However, we could see that it is getting traffic, and I think last I checked, it was like $1,800 a month worth of traffic for the entire site. So pretty comparable to, the UR rating here for the URL, which is like, okay, I could probably compete with a site like this. Am I going to get this ranking overnight? Of course not. But looking at this is a blog post about different video hosting platforms. So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to see what his traffic looks like and different things like that. Because looking at this one post, according to Ahrefs, that traffic is worth about $4,100 a month, or roughly $2 a click, which is pretty good, right? Now, again, it's not typical. It's not implied or guaranteed. You could put this stuff up and make nothing. Some of my stuff in this niche makes a lot more. So understanding this is very, very key, and we need to look at why these things work. The other one we're going to look at is in the wedding invitations niche. This is a big kahuna of a site, way bigger than mine. We're looking at this as the keyword wedding invitations. We could see that the value of the traffic there is like $27,000 a month. So there is value here. Again, what this is showing is, hey, there's value, there's money, great, wonderful. What next? It doesn't mean we're guaranteed to get anything. It just shows us that there's money there. So we're going to use the different content types to make this work. Now, as we go through, what we want to do is we want to look at why we are writing content and what we want to do. In the examples here for these blogs, I would want to go through on my blog and rank for something like this one, which is about best video hosting sites. So if I go through here and I look at best video hosting sites, we could see they don't have that many big keywords, but we have like different platforms and things like that. So we would go through and say video hosting. Now, what we have to do is we have to look at this and think about, okay, who's looking this up? What do they want? How do we make it work? And how are we going to make money with it? Super important. Now, I know I can make money with various different video hosting softwares and tools and things like that. So going through here, what we want to do first is we want to go and look at what is the intent of our keyword. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with this tool, which is the AI content creation prompt library from Personality Prompts. All right, I'll show you where to get this at the end of the video. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the intent by saying, okay, what's my project? Video hosting. What is my main topic or keyword? Video hosting for businesses. Now, while I might not be able to get the big kahuna keyword, which is video hosting platform or something like that, I could probably get something a little bit different. Since my site is about video hosting, I could go through and I could do something like video hosting platform or services or something like that. If we do services, that's probably going to have a lot more money. Might not have as much traffic, but it will have more money. So let's go through and take a look at what this would come up with for video hosting for business. Let's save the product and continue. Then we're going to go through, you can edit it if you want. We're going to do the pre-research, which is going to give us the intent of our market. What is it that these people actually want? Now, going through here, there's several things we want to do. There was a prompt we can start with alongside this, where we're going to go through and get the intent based on the SERPs or search engine results. So if I go through and I search something like best video hosting for business, I can take the results from this page, I can put them into this custom prompt or custom GPT rather, and I can say, boom, it'll go through and it'll get the info on this, right? So we can go through and see this here, and it's going to say market emotion and SERP analysis. It should ask me a couple of questions and then give me like the market emotion map and stuff like that. Let's retry this. Looks like it timed out. All right, looks like it wants to time out on us. We will try this again. Retry. There we go. It looks like it's trying. There we go. Okay, so it's provided the top 10 Google SERP entries, sponsored and organic, so it understands them. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at these questions. So target audience, primary goal, primary voice. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to say one, target audience, businesses that want to host videos on a platform for, let's say, courses, privacy, like members, areas, ECT. And we could do something like this. I'm actually going to say courses and lead pages, sales pages, because obviously these companies don't want to use a free hosting platform if they're having like a sales letter or something like that. So we'll go through and we'll do that there. Let's see, primary goal, drive signups. I'm probably going to go for like having AdSense and different types of platforms on there because hosting does pay a lot. So we could go through and we could see what it wants. So let's say dominant emotion, trust and control, they want readability, reliability, privacy, and professionalism. Aspiration, they envision premium branded video experiences. Fear of losing conversions. So it's going to go through and it's going to look at the user intent, dominant, awareness stage, middle to bottom of funnel, whatever these mean, those are funny sounding. And then we're going to see their core problems and different things like this. Now what this does is it's going to help us understand two things. One, okay, this is what Google thinks is important. These are the top results. So this is intent based on the top results. So we can look at this and have different frameworks and different tones and positionings and things like this. What it's going to do is it's going to help us understand. We want to spend more time understanding why someone wants to look up what they want to look up or why they're reading what they want to read than we do actually creating the content. Why? Because it's going to get easy once we understand what they want. Now we can create something that's very, very good. And you could see here, we even included in this custom GPT, the format probability and strategy. So the probability of a blog post doing well is 40, whereas a short form video is going to be less. So looking at this, it's going to be very important. And it'll go through and pick the best kind of content for you, which is like, okay, we're going to have blog post SEO comparison lead magnet. Okay, so a blog post that has a comparison and then a lead magnet. Very, very cool. Now, we can go through and do this on a different one. So let's do this on the wedding invitations one and show you exactly what it looks like. If we were to do, let's say, wedding invitations, I would just go to Google right like this, take wedding invitations, Boom, get all this stuff here. And it'll know, oh, hey, this is from Etsy, this is from this, that, or the other, and it'll know what we want from this. So let's see, right over here somewhere, we got a lot of stuff open because I want to show you all of the things that we use here. We're going to go through and have this wedding invitation one. Again, it should come up with those questions, and then we'll go through and look at this in a very strategic way. Okay, so now we have huge design and customization options, what stands out, things to check or ask, suitability for different. My recommendation, let's go ahead and do this again. Let's reload it and see if it'll give us that initial questions. It should. Let's see here. Okay, searching for wedding invitations, trends. Okay, market trends and highlights. The wedding invitation printing service is growing, what they want, what they care about. It's got some different things here, highlights category, strategic insights. Now let's go to this and say what types of content work best based on these SERPs. And it'll go through and it'll give that for us. And let's see here. Okay, so now it's going to look at the SERP context. Wedding invitations as low as, SERP content analysis. Okay, so now we're seeing the mind emotion. Here's where it goes into all of this. Mind emotion map, dominant emotions, excitement, anticipation, pride, relief at finding affordable luxury. A lot of these are looking at like, okay, they're having like fatigue. So if I can make something simple and easy and something that kind of decides for them, this is going to be really, really good. So now going through this, again, looking at why do they want this? And again, like I said, this is boring, but it works like crazy. This is something I've been doing for 25 years, is looking at the intent of what people want, driving them to the things that really help them. And if we do this right and we position it, we will have a stellar piece of content that's going to help these people that we could promote everywhere. And eventually Google's not going to be able to ignore us because we're going to have the best piece of content out there for people looking this stuff up. So looking at this, blog posts, short form videos, these are all very good. Interactive quiz or style finder. See how this is going through and it's pairing with some of these content types that we were talking about earlier, like a blog post, a listicle, sales copy, different things like this. Now, as we go through, we're going to keep this in our back pocket and we're going to use this as we progress through the content strategy. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the AI content strategy tool here, and we are going to go audience deep dive. This will go through and it'll start where I can copy this JSON prompt. So we have audience deep dive, and I could just throw this right into these here, right? So now we have this one, which is about tech jargon, video hosting. Boom, let's just prompt that right in there. And we'll prompt this right in here as well. And this is going to give us a deep dive. And what it's doing is it's priming the pump so that when we write content, it already knows this. It's like if you were having a conversation with someone, you know, you wouldn't get up and leave and go talk to the next person to get the next answer. No, you're going to stay with the same person because you're having a conversation. That's what we're doing with AI here, is looking at this and making it work. So we have our audience demographics, all of this stuff here. It's psychographics. Now we're starting to make the AI understand exactly what we want. This is going to get a much, much more custom result, and it's based on keyword stuff because we prompted it already, right? So going through and starting with the SERP insights is absolutely the best way we want to go. You can do this in Gemini, DeepSeek, Manus, however you like to do it. ChatGPT is probably easiest and least expensive one, and it's fast too, so it'll work pretty well. Then we're going to go through and just kind of walk it through. So we have audience deep dive. We can do competitive analysis, SEO keyword research. I'm going to leave those for the end because I think we're okay looking at unique angles and things like this. Now, remember that your custom prompts are going to have what you put in the first part. So obviously, like, I might get a little skewed results here where like the wedding one might start talking about video hosting. I don't think it is video hosting. So this is, did this start with our wedding stuff? It did. So it did start to do wedding hosting. So I would probably go back and say, okay, let's do this for something else. Maybe I'll open a new one of these and do this with the wedding stuff. So let's do wedding invitations, wedding invitations. That way we get the same fluid result, right? Like this, and boom, copy JSON prompt. Let's do ignore the last bit. Let's just put that in. It should fix itself. Let's see if it does. There we go. Yeah, now it fixed itself. So now it's got millennials, secondary distribution, so mostly women, income level, education. So it's doing a whole deep dive on this stuff, which once we get into the content creation, it's going to be game changer. So now we have this one here, which I believe this is for video hosting. So let's say for video hosting, we want to do a blog post for SEO content. So I would go in here and it's going to check out the keyword and topic. Let's go ahead and copy this as a JSON. And going through, what it's going to do is it's going to walk it through that conversation and watch the type of content we get when we're done. You're going to see it's just night and day different. So now we have primary search intent, which it got from the SERPs, okay? Then we have goal for your blog, position your content as an advisor and solution matcher, not just informational. That right there is the difference between profitable content and non-profitable content. That's why we go through this boring process, because now we're going to get something that's going to think about what they want, think about their pain point, and make it that way. So now we have all this, and we're going to start to create the content. Let's do apply strategies. Now we have the 2 a.m. test, empathy-driven content, and this is where you're going to choose the one you want. So if we do compelling titles, let's start with these, and let's see what the titles it gives us are. I think it had some that were like the 2 a.m., what makes you stay awake at night. And what we did is we actually compiled this entire system based on some of the top, most brilliant content minds that make money with sales letters and all kinds of things like that. So now we have this one where it's talking about how to host videos that sell, not just play, 7 ways to use private video hosting to double your conversions, stop using certain types, how you're losing leads with free video hosting, ultimate guide to video hosting for your business, control, convert, and scale. Should you pay for video hosting? That's a pretty good one. The hidden ROI nobody talks about. I like that. How to choose the right video hosting platform for your business. That's okay. This will probably be the best one for SEO. However, we could go through and look at others as well. Now we can go through and say, okay, now let's start writing this thing where we'll go and generate content. So now we have topic, create a listicle format. We can do a concise version, complete first draft. So let's do complete first draft. So I'll just choose this here, and then I'll say, let's do the first draft here, copy, and we'll put this right in here, and it should start writing it. Let's see how this looks. And what we want is something very stellar that's like, okay, if you're looking for video hosting, this is what you want. How to choose the right video hosting platform for your business. 3 attention-grabbing headline options. How to choose the right. Smart marketer's guide to video hosting that converts. Stop embedding videos. How to pick that. So I'm going to do this one here. Okay. So how to choose the right video hosting platform for your business. Good. Introduction. The hidden cost of free hosting. You poured hours into recording the perfect video, the one that should convert visitors into buyers. You upload it, embed it, and hit publish. Then something happens. Your potential customer clicks your video, watches for a few seconds, and before you know it, they're on a competitor's channel distracted by an unrelated ad. This single click just costs you a lead. The truth? Where you host your videos matter just as much as the video itself. So now we're seeing it's actually making a good piece of content that is kind of selling hosting, which is where we want to make money anyway. So it's looking pretty good. Understanding the key features. Now it has a breakdown of the top platforms. This is pretty good. This is much better than if I went to some random AI and said, make this content, right? If I go to a random AI or ChatGPT or whatever, and I say, let's write an article about this, right? I could go through, let's do new chat, and we'll do a temporary chat so it doesn't get any history. And I'll say, make this article, please. Okay, so now it's going to go through, and the hard part here is like this content is going to look good to the untrained eye. But to someone like me who's been doing this a long time, it's not going to be good. Identify your business goals. This is what we call generic content, which isn't really going to do the job. See how the difference here is like, now we're diving into all the pain points of why this works and why this would rank. This is priming the pump, saying, hey, these are the things that are ranking now. This is what Google thinks the intent is. Let's strip that out and start an article based on that. Now, going through and looking at the key features that matter, common uses, it's going through, and this is a very, very good piece of content that we can actually start to use. Right now, I can say, now just strip out the content part, because it does have little links and stuff, which we probably don't want to include in there. I have that so that I can promote my stuff. Now, let's say, maybe, actually, it does pretty good. So I could just take these little parts out. Now, write the article without the mentions of the, just write it so I can use on my blog. And it should go through and fix that up. Either way, what I would do is I would go through and line by line fix this up in a really good way. And I want to think about, like, if I was going to send people here from Pinterest or YouTube or a video about content or whatever it is, would they actually read this? Would this actually be good for them? And the answer is absolutely yes. I'm going to fancy it up a little bit more as we go along. Let me see if I can start posting this and show you what this would look like. I would go through and I would probably have like a Johnson box or a quick start guide at the top. Now let's make a Johnson box or quick start guide at the top. And this is where you can put links to deeper content and stuff like that. So once this is done, we'll put that on there. Right, like this. There we go. So now it'll do that, and we can go through and look at this. So think beyond hosting, additional takeaways. That's probably what it's going to include. And this is actually looking pretty good. Let's see what it looks like in Grammarly, because we never want to have something that's plagiarized, right? I like to stick below like 5% at the absolute most. So let's go, we'll pull open Grammarly, right, like this. And we can do new, and we'll just paste this in here. It'll just give us a word count and kind of see where we can go. And then what I would do is I would test this out, see if it ranks, see if it starts to get picked up, add my affiliate links and things like that in here, and then see exactly what I would want to do. So it's going to check our plagiarism here, and then we can see if we add a new post on my blog. And again, if you're not using the Blog Profit Network AI tools, definitely check those out at blogprofitnetwork.com. So we're going to go through and we could do this, and you'll see that those tools will help you as you go through. So how to choose the right video hosting for your business. So what I would do is I would do like video hosting for businesses. Stop losing money. Okay? So let's go ahead and see. This will give us a little word count as well. So got 1,100 words. We can beef it up as we go along. Once you hit publish, if you have the Blog Profit Network tool running, you can go in and you can do like a little infographic, or this will create a Johnson box based on the content you have, right? So it'll look at your content, it'll create that for you. Super cool stuff. Works in a super easy way. Now, going through here, what we're going to do is take a look at our Grammarly, and we can see 5% plagiarism. I would probably want to fix that up. It'll show you, okay, well, where is it? Choose the right video hosting platform. So that's not exactly plagiarized, and that's in the title area. So maybe I can say choosing or something like that. We can see that that is the main phrase that seems to be coming up. So everything else is pretty good and on point. Going through looking at all these other things where it has little links, we could probably put some links in there as well to make that work. So now we see, yeah, this is actually a pretty good piece of content. I can add a Johnson box as we see over here. And let's see, okay, so our Johnson box would be how to choose this, quick start guide, what you'll learn in 3 minutes. Okay, so we could put this here, And maybe you could even put like, here's our top recommended host. That's where you put your affiliate offer or something like that. And then going through and beefing this up is super important, but starting with that intent is absolutely key. Let's take a look at how it's doing with our wedding one. So here's our wedding invitation one. It's got the info on the market. It's got the top SERP results, audience summary. Now let's go through and go even deeper. So we did our deep dive. I'll go through and choose content type. Now, this is where you get into the 13 super powerful content types. Not all of them will be used everywhere. Like I find listicles are usually best for like videos or social media, where sales copy is good for, hey, they already looked at this post. Let's use our Johnson box to point them to a sales copy. Super important stuff. And you can combine these with each other. So like if I did this one with our video hosting and I have a host in mind that I want to promote as an affiliate, that would work really, really well. Now let's go through and let's say we wanted to do a case study, right? That would go through and do a case study for the different things. And I'll show you what this looks like. Obviously, you would want to make sure this is true because when it does a case study, it's probably going to make it up. But hey, if you ever did wedding invitations, just lean on your own experience from it. So going through here, case study, intent discovery, client, Emma and Daniel, newlyweds from Austin. Obviously, make sure it's true. Product or service used. Most compelling case study angle would be how a design-loving couple created luxury wedding invitations on a $200 budget. That's pretty good. That's newsworthy. That's something where if you went out there and people had weddings on their mind, they would probably want to click that. Or you could go through and look at other ones as well. Like if you did a listicle, that would be, oh, here's the 10 things you need to know about your wedding invitations or whatever it is. Let's see if we can get that one there. Luckily, this does save this stuff. Let's go back to content types and we'll do listicle. And watch the difference between these. It's making the content in a way that's going to really speak to your audience, right? Like this. Listicle intent discovery. That's cool. It does intent discovery in it. And that's why stacking these up is super important. Prompt stacking is something I think people don't talk about enough. Maybe we'll have a video on it. If you want to see one, type prompt stacking in the comments and I'll do a big video on that. So now we have, all right, this did our list building one. Let's see, copy. Did that do it right? Stop. I think, okay, so that did the wedding one. Let's see here. Wedding invitations, there we go. It got a little mixed up there, probably because I'm using two of them. Most compelling case study. So there's our case study one. Let's get the listicle one. Back to content, listicle, wedding invitations, listicle intent discovery. Okay, let's try that. So we'll do this here. And listicle intent discovery. And what we're going to do is we're going to pair this with SEO, a good piece of content, and then what we're going to do is we're going to chop it up and get more content to promote this content. Because if I can make 100 different tips on wedding invitations and things like that, then I could point them to this giant thing that's like, oh, go to my big resource or guide or whatever. I could build a mailing list. I can do all kinds of things with this. And if it ranks in Google, which eventually would be our goal, you could see, yes, that's going to be worth some cash, where this guy's getting quite a bit of value out of his traffic. So now understanding this, we'll go through. Let's give it the listicle angle. Listicle intent. Engage couples, okay. Identify brides' invitations, personality and love story, relationships, couples tag each other. That's our vibe. That's pretty cool. So now, why is it shareable? I like that. I like this because it shows, okay, this is why it would be shareable. After analyzing top-ranking content from the Not, Minted, Zola, see, I mean, this just does so much behind-the-scenes stuff to get the intent. It's not even funny. It also looked at TikTok Reels. So now, here is our optimal range, 7 to 10 list items, 10 stunning wedding invitation ideas you'll fall in love with, 7 wedding invitation trends. Okay, cool. Format, narrative, ranking, framework. Okay, so now we could go through the target audience, most likely to share this content, planning their wedding, and you could even post these in like wedding groups on Facebook and stuff like there's tons of them, right? You just make something helpful. That's all you do, and you can point them to your blog post. People do this all the time where they will use other places to boost up their traffic. This is known as traffic boosters. Now, going through here, let's make the listicle, or I think it might even have its own prompt in there, apply strategies. Okay, auto-filled, vertical list framework, list item structure generator. Okay, let's try this. Let's see what this one does, okay? And then again, this is the process. If you're not using a process to create content and you're just asking AI, hey, make me some content for this keyword, that's why you're struggling. Now, it doesn't mean that this is going to guarantee you traffic and rankings overnight, but I have seen that this does absolutely help. And having that good piece of content is everything. Going through and making it work, that's everything. 10 stunning wedding invitation ideas that set the perfect tone. Minimalist, boho, luxury foil elegance, acrylic. Okay, so now we can go through. Let's see if this will turn it into an article as well. Apply strategies, list item structure generator, generate content. Okay, so now let's do optimized listicle. Yeah, so we're going to do this. And notice how this does several. So I'm getting the social media ones. That would be 10 nice posts about, most wedding invitations don't have this. Now we're going to have one that has it. So these I'd use on social media. Then I'd use this for my SEO, right? So going through and looking at this, you are getting a much, much better output. So now here's the SEO optimized listicle. 10 best. Okay, I did video hosting again. Let's stop that. All right. So moral of the story, don't use this in multiple tabs. Let's see if we could do this here. So this, SEO list optimizer, copy as JSON. It might be because of the JSON thing. That's probably where it's caching it. So let's do this. There we go. That did the trick. So now it's going to go through, it's going to do optimization plan, wedding invitations, listicle. So there's our keyword. Here's our list. And let's see if it actually creates it. It should. List optimizer. Okay. Now let's make the 2,500 to 3,000 word blog post. So this should go through and help. And again, remember, like the wedding invitations, it's going through and thinking about what are they struggling with? Decision. Like there's so many of these, it's crazy. So now we're doing all of this, affordable wedding invitation templates, destination. So that's for internal linking. That would be more for like fancy SEO stuff. What we're doing here is we're trying to just get a good piece of content. And if we can do that, like with AI, and spend some time doing this, then we're good to go. All right, that's what we have to do, is we have to look at this and really think about how it's going to help our market. All right, that's what Google's all about, like helpful content. That's what they want. If your content isn't helpful, it's not going to make any money. So now we have bonus tips, stuff like that. Let's go ahead and create, okay, overview. So here's our overview. And it's going to ask us. So now let's do this. And yes to all that. Blog. Okay, so now we'll do this and see how it starts to come out. All right, here's a full SEO. Whoa, that was quick. 10 stunning wedding invitation ideas for 2025. Elegant, affordable, and personalized. Your wedding invitations are the first glimpse your guests have to get onto your love story. All right, so this is looking good. Minimalist modern, boho botanical, luxury foil elegance, acrylic transparent. And this is the kind of thing where you could even go through and create images for it. Like I have an outsourcer that's doing this on the site where I could go through and say, now make an image for number 1, and it'll make that image. But going through here, you can see it's a much, much better piece of content. It's got the FAQs, how to choose the right style for your wedding. I would put this up on top. Like that would be the key, right? Before I get into the types or the stuff here, I'm going to have that as our Johnson box because that's what they want. What they're looking for is like, oh, hey, here's something quick and cool. I would also think about, like, in this market, it would probably be best to have like carousel images, which I can also use on social media, and starting to understand, okay, this isn't just about text. This is about what our market wants. Looks like it misunderstood what I meant for this, but I mean, it's okay. I could use a different image editor or image creator as well. Probably use something a little bit different, or maybe you could even use video or something. So now going through here, we can see order the test, venue theme. How about people who don't know how to decide? Let's go there, because I know the frustration of the market is key. So it's building a section. See how it knows we're writing the article? That's what's really cool about this AI Profit Scoop Serpent Insights is it knows what we're doing. What to do if you don't know how to choose a wedding. Start with your wedding's personality. Pick your color story. Make this a Johnson box. So what I would do here is I would go through into my wedding site and I would start to post this. Let me see if I can get in there. I would start to post this where I'm gonna build on this. It's not one where you're just going to ChatGPT and getting, hey, here it is, it's done. We're going through and we are building this as we go along. We're building it with ChatGPT. This is what's called human in the mix, where we are in the mix of this stuff. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna click on add post, and I'm gonna start to build this thing out. Let's actually go back to plugins. Let's do classic editor. Classic editor, where'd it go? Let's do classic editor, install, and activate. That's just gonna make it a little bit easier because I like the old version better. And we'll do add post, and I'll do our title here. So we're just gonna pull this up. So let's start it on making a Johnson box. So we'll go up to our top article here. Obviously, we wanna plagiarize, check it, everything like that. So we'll do, where is our article? I had it in here. There's the structure. I think it's down here. There we go. Okay, so this is the what to do part. This is our image. This is our article. Okay, so the article here, and again, read it. Make sure it's good. Fact check it. We're going to do right here, visual. I'm going to paste this. So wedding invitation ideas for, I'm just going to call this stunning wedding invitation ideas for 2025. All right, so we'll do like that. Then we can read all this. I can put the Johnson box right up front. So we have Johnson box, not sure which invitations to choose. Feeling stuck, you're not alone. Keep reading, blah, blah, blah. So that's going to keep them reading, which is good. So I could put that right up here. Boom. Not sure which invitations to choose. Let's do, we'll put that after this. Boom. And then I'll just get rid of these quotes. And then we have that, and they can click all those, which is good. We'll just make these clickable. Then we have our ideas. I would go through, I would put the links and the images in here. Okay, so if you have affiliate links and stuff like that, you would put those in there. So let's go ahead, stunning wedding invitation ideas, publish. Okay, and then going through, design notes. Okay, why this Johnson box works. Let's do what else can I add to make this better for the people searching. Same thing with the video one, like what can I do to make this better? And we'll actually track these and see if they get any rankings. I mean, I'm imagining they'll probably get some. So add people also ask and FAQ keywords. Okay, that's cool. Are digital invitations okay? Whose name goes first? These are pretty good. People also ask. Add an interactive style finder. Nice. Okay, so that's one where you can go through and make a little style finder or link to one, right? Like maybe choose your favorite color, and then that would go to the affiliate offer or something like that. Really, really important stuff when we're looking at, okay, how do we do this? Now, looking at the content strategy types, we're going to go through. The blog post is the most obvious one. There's several different tips, like the purpose of a title, communicate a clear benefit, inform, inspire, and interact. These are different things that you can add. We have these in our list of prompts at Personality Prompts, and in the tools. They are put in some of the tools that we have over at personalityprompts.com, and you can start using those. Personalizing titles and content with the word you, okay? Publish secretively, rewrite to one person, okay? So like you rather than, hey, friends. Very, very good if you make it personal. The walk away to draft break, read it out loud, the ear test, and these you could go through. You could put these in your ChatGPT, and you could say, explain this in terms of writing, of blog writing. And it'll understand what that means, because that is something that we extracted. So in blog writing, self-editing technique that helps you catch awkward phrasing, poor rhythm, or unclear sentences. So that's what that's about. And that's the cool part, is that that compacts it. So knowing these things is absolutely key. I will put this entire list over at Personality Prompts. Once it's ready, we'll send it out to you if you're on the Personality Prompts email list. Eyeball for scanners, that's really cool. So like, let's add this element. So we can go through and say, with our wedding one, now add this element to my blog post. And it'll go through. Watch how it puts the headings, because what we're doing is we're looking for skimmers, okay? So now, 70% of readers scan before they read. How to add the eyeball for scanners layer to your blog post. Front load visual hierarchy. Good. Your invitations aren't just paper. They're the first chapter of your love story. That's pretty damn good. Instead of this, so see how it's adding all this? Add eyeball anchors every 150 words. Now, rewrite with all this in it. Okay? I'll wait for it to be done. But you'll see that these are game changers. This is stuff that is time-tested, true, that's going to go through and help you understand your market in a different way. Obviously, you don't want to just add all of them. You want to add where it makes sense, or ask which of these would be good on my blog post, right? Or going through the listicle. What makes one listicle work and another not? Harness the board at work network. Tie content to identity and relationships. Ensure simplicity for replication. Choose social topics. So going through this, a list item delivers standalone value. That's pretty good. If you do this, you will have content built in to promote your big content, because now I could do like each list item will have value, which means I can go back and make that work. Consistent structure, on and on we go. Sales copy, write the rough draft fast, edit later. Clarity, not cleverness. Benefits, not features. These are things you can go through and paste in your AI, and you are going to get a way, way better piece of content. Yes, please rewrite. Rewrite. We could spell this right? There we go. Rewrite. And let's see how it does with the rewrite. And watch the difference. You're going to see like big, bold stuff. At a glance, boom, my eye's going to go there. It's got the little ring. Cool. Not sure which wedding invitation to choose. Feeling stuck. You're not alone. That's where I would put opt in here, join my mailing list to get other stuff. See how that does way better. And look at the difference here. If we were to go look at this one, stunning wedding invitations, feeling stuck, whatever, it looks okay, but we want to do even better, which is where we're going to go through and fancy it up with this one. So 10, let's do right here. So 10 stunning wedding invitations, boom, boom, boom. Watch the difference in how this looks. It's already starting to look better. If I'm skimming, I'm going to be like, oh, hey, this is pretty cool. And then having those images is also going to do even better. So adding these little things into your content writing are absolutely game changers. And I think that understanding, okay, if I could just add a couple of really good things to this that's going to make people click, make them read, make them stay on it longer, that's going to be key. And you'll see that they work for everything, like email marketing sequence, maintain a healthy revenue split between campaigns and flows, prioritize 3 core foundation flows for e-com. Apply the invisible selling machine framework. That's pretty cool. Let's see what happens if we add that one. Okay. I think that might have been something that Frank Kern popularized. So let's do this, micro CTAs. So it looks like this is the end of the article. Let's see the difference in how it works. Okay, so let's go ahead and update. So this is what it looked like before. Much better. It's got the icons, all kinds of cool stuff there. Match the mood. And obviously I would format it better. I'm not completely sold with this, but it's getting there, which is cool, right? So now we're starting to see, okay, we're moving the goalpost of making good content that people would actually want. Soap opera sequence, I think that was a Russell Brunson one. So we'll go through and apply the invisible selling machine framework. Okay, so that's Ryan Dice. Okay, so we'll go through. Now it's going to apply this, indoctrination sequence, implementation in your blog. At the top of your blog post or right after your Johnson box, add a short narrative that humanizes your brand. We've helped over 100,000 couples. So if you're new, just use whatever the affiliate network they've helped over. Click here to get it. Subtle sell, you're not pitching, you're emotionally positioning your brand as a trusted. Engagement sequence, stir desire through emotion. How would it add in your blog? Micro emotional moments, when these people found this, or imagine your guests opening the envelope that matches your color palette perfectly before they even step into your ceremony. That's cool, like make it an experience. This one here, and on we go. So these little things are going to help you as you go along to think about your content in a different way. Case studies where applicable, make the customer the hero. White papers, this would be if you're making content that's like, comparing AI systems or something like that. Very important, looking at ebooks or lead magnets. Deliver actionable, overwhelming value. Okay, so now I could go through and say, now let's make this an ebook and deliver overwhelming value or something like that. Going through looking at other content types, press releases. How can I make a press release about this? Maybe tie it into how people are using AI to help with their weddings. Right? That would be something that would be press release worthy. It would get me search engine traffic. It can work really, really well because that will boost it up and it'll be newsworthy. Something very cool. What we want to do is we want to think about our content as not just busy work online, but stuff that people are actually going to want. Newsletters, video or audio script, landing pages. Can I make a landing page out of this, right? Can I repurpose my content for more than just, hey, here's a blog post, I hope it ranks. If it doesn't, yeah, this doesn't work. No, we're building this up to make something good. Infotorials or advertorials. Okay, now I could go through and say, let's say I'm going into my market and I do ChatGPT and I'm like, what are the highest paying affiliate offers in the wedding invitations niche? I could go through and think about this and make a custom page for it. Okay, so we would do, let's say, minted. I want one with a CTA, so let's do elegant wedding invites. All right, pays $150. Now, I haven't vetted it. I don't know if it's a good offer. We're just using this for an example. I can go through and now say, now let's do this. So let's get our invotorial, lead with the conclusion, give away the ending, real business impact, validate success. Let's do this. Now let's make this an advertorial, infotorial to sell elegant wedding invites. So there we have that. Boom. Watch what this does to our content. This is where AI really shines, and you have to work with the AI to get it. So now we have focus on creativity, not just creation. Why this is redefining modern wedding. Weddings have changed, so should invitations. There was a time when wedding invitations were simply about creation, paper. This is readable. This is something people will actually read rather than here are the top ways to blah, blah, blah. But today's weddings are more events. They're digital ecosystems of love stories, guest experience, and personal connection. That's going to speak to a bride, right? Like, here's the top paper, it doesn't really do it. I learned this years ago when I was a magician, and someone told me, hey, instead of magic balloons, comedy, and fun, make your ad say, make your child's party unforgettable. Game changer. Like the difference between making a living and going broke was that one line. And if you can pair that with the use of AI, because back when I was 19 and I learned that, I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know, oh, just running an ad will get you stuff. Running a good ad will get you stuff. What is the good ad? What is the good headline? That's where we want to go through and make this where it's like, okay, why connectivity is the future? This speaks to the people. This is your make your child's party unforgettable. The other content is boring, lame, not good, right? So starting to understand like what's going on, what makes this different? How do we sell stuff? How to now add this to the 3,000 word article? Boom. Now it's going to go through and it's going to rewrite that blog post with this in mind, and it's going to sell stuff. Right? If that makes sense, let me know, because it's super, super important that you understand that content structured differently is the difference between making money and not making money. And far too many people are just expecting AI to just make them rich, which it can, but you have to know how to use it and you have to know how to prompt it. And that's where using these things and adding them into them. It's like there was a SpongeBob episode where he said, spicy sentence enhancers. These are your sentence enhancers where it's going to go through and it's going to make you a spicy blog post that's going to make this work and help you understand. And we can go through and we can pass it through several AIs. I mean, we're in this training an hour. I've been going through several of these. I could probably make a really good blog post in less than an hour using these things that's designed to sell. And then I could make other content to put them to that. And once it gets traffic, it'll start to go through. Pairing this with domain strategy and all the things that I teach is key. It's not super hard to do. You just need to go through and think about it differently. This is about thinking about content differently. Looking at this and saying, what makes one post like make $27,000 a month and one make $100 or nothing? What is the difference? What is it that made this one good? Understanding that's key, and the AI will go through. That's what AI is good at, is understanding this. So now we see it's rewriting the 3,000 word article, and it's making it focus on connectivity, not just creation with wedding invitations. Like I would shorten this because I wouldn't want to give away that I'm promoting something right away. Weddings have changed, so should invitations, why connectivity is the future, elegant quality for creators and wedding planners. Here's all the different things here. And then it goes through psychology. Hey, that's cool. Pretty cool. Decent. I wouldn't do this. This kind of lost in the affiliate model. So again, we want this for people wanting invitations, not to be affiliates. I am the affiliate. This content is for them. Let's see. Let's see if it changes it. Sometimes it'll get stuck in a loop, which is fine. That's our job. Like, AI is not just going to go and make you money yet. Maybe it will, right? So focus on this, why this is good, modern invitation, good. So it did understand that. So it took out all those affiliate things. I think it just got a little confused there. A bride from Charleston, customize the modern grace suite. Okay, cool. Real customization. So there, I would add this to the bottom. Yeah, I would add this to the bottom. Sustainability with a soul. And then there we go, right? That would do pretty good. I could add this into my blog post, get it built up, get it ranking, and then it would do the selling, which is really cool. Understanding all of this is key. We need to understand how to make content in the right way and where each is used. Now, going through this, looking at blog posts can have a really high ROI. Why? Because it doesn't cost anything to make. What you just saw didn't cost me anything. It's just a little bit of time. Is that time going to pan out? Like, could I make some money with that post? I think I could. Listicles, you're probably going to have a good ROI on social media, but you're going to have to promote it. Sales copy, very high. Email sequence, very high. Case study, white paper, ebook, These are all very high. Like if I made an ebook here, like spend a day, make a really good ebook about wedding invitations, and then, make it to where they can go here and opt in. Click here to get my full wedding invitation guide or whatever. Very, very simple. Much like I'm doing on personality prompts, where I'm like, hey, go there. You go to personality prompts. Let's show you what it looks like. And boom, put your name and email. Right now, you can be a beta tester here if you want to save some money. But the idea is get them in the email list. I send them cool stuff. And when I send them cool stuff, whether it's about wedding invitations or in personality prompts, I send you cool stuff about prompting AI to make money online. Going through and looking at that is key. Can I do a press release or whatever? Drive them back, build that mail list up, and then boom, there we go. This is all about making good content, thinking about our market, thinking about what they want, building it up and growing it, not just looking at SEO. SEO is one part of it, but you're not going to rank very long if your content is just garbage, right? Although some keywords you can. We do talk about that and where it works. What I would do if I was building a site like this in the 7-day challenge we're going through, I would build up some of these posts and see where it ranks. Like you could see that some of the stuff here for wedding invitation site is getting picked up in Google, MSN, different places like that. You guys see that our site about explainer videos does get traffic. I'll show you what it looks like here. Let's see, posts. There you go. So we could see we rank for stuff like this. This is a blog post we built in one of our previous videos, but there's lots of stuff that you can do. It just depends on what you're trying to get and what you want. Very important. What we got to do is we got to build these up and think about what our market wants and use our prompts and stuff to get there. So check out these prompts and this list of 13 types of content over at personalityprompts.com. Again, pairing this with the domain strategy, we have gotten millions of search engine rankings, millions of traffic, all kinds of stuff, made a lot of money with it. Focusing is absolutely key. So personalityprompts.com, check that out. Check out the videos in the description for the other ones in this 7-day blog challenge, and you could see how we're building these sites up and making them work. So smash that like button, check out the videos in the description, get the prompts at personalityprompts.com, and I'll see you in the next training.